Okay, so my name is Rodrigo Hutt. I am a VP and GM at Viome. Biome, it's a company that it's at the intersection of health, technology, and biology. And we are a young company who's in the process of digitizing, decoding, and deciphering human biology with the big mission of preventing and reverting chronic diseases. So the objective of today is to share a little bit about what is happening in this space, in the health, technology, biology, and data science world, and using Biome as a case study, as an example of what's happening in this space. So the first thing that I would like to say is that I think that we are in the process of we are seeing very interesting things in an emerging industry, and in this intersection between health, tech, and bio. And many years ago, we saw the Industrial Revolution. 25 years ago, we saw the digital revolution with many of these e-commerce companies, revolutionizing retail through e-commerce. Companies like Amazon in the US, Alibaba in Asia, Mercado Libre in Latin America. Also, 10 years ago, we started to see how fintech companies were starting to disrupt financial services. And I personally believe that right now we are starting to see the beginning of the bio revolution, what I call the bio revolution. So that is very exciting from my point of view. And I think that it all starts with the human body. And inside our body, we have human genes, and we also have the microbiome, right? And just to give just a little bit of context about what the microbiome is, we have this vast ecosystem of microorganisms, microbes, such as bacteria, fungi, viruses, yeasts, etc. And this collection of microbes, it's called the microbiota, or the microbiome, as people have been coming to know. And this term of the microbiome has come into popular use to refer as how our gut and our gut health it's in balance. And what we have seen is that the human body cannot really absorb nutrients the way they should if you don't have a microbiome that it's in balance. If someone's microbiome it's not in balance, that results in inflammation, and inflammation is a root cause of almost every chronic disease out there. So that's why at Biome we decided to build this company, and this is a young company. We started the company 5 years ago, and we are on a mission to empower people to live healthier lives through precision nutrition and precision medicine. So the objective, and just to give you a little bit more of context, one of the things that I would say is that genes are not people's destiny. A few years ago, and some of you might still recall about this project, about the Human Genome Project that happened in the early 2000s, when some companies started to analyze people's DNA. And interestingly, after analyzing the DNA, some scientists and companies started realizing that the DNA was not changing. The DNA did not change with a chronic disease. So even if you have twins with identical DNA, so one of them could potentially develop a chronic disease, while the other didn't develop that chronic disease. So that's when we started to realize that looking at DNA was not the right thing to do, or was not as complete. And then we started to look into RNA or mRNA, which is a molecule that is now becoming more popular with the COVID vaccines. But the whole thing about the RNA, and I'm going to try to use this slide over here, is that RNA actually measures not just it just doesn't analyzes your genes, but also analyzes your gene expression. So the DNA, it can show you what can potentially happen, but actually the RNA can tell you what is happening right now in your body. And when something is going on in your gut and in your microbiome, it creates these imbalances. And we learned that by analyzing someone's RNA, you can alter and heal your microbiome through nutrition. And we also started to realize that that food is medicine, and that not all foods are created equal, and there is no one single food that is universally healthy for everyone. It really depends on the person, and it really depends on how your microbiome is today. And the microbiome changes over time. So that's what makes it even more interesting and challenging at the same time. So then we got to the question about what if we could potentially decode the human body and understand biology at a molecular level to address chronic diseases. So this was kind of the broad, high-level question that the founder of Biome, Naveen Jain, he set out to answer 5 years ago. So to do that, Biome became a platform company. So we basically have developed the largest mRNA database in the world. And by building this platform, we are fueling innovation in many different areas. The first one, it's what we call health insights and precision supplements and precision nutrition. This is a direct-to-consumer e-commerce business, and I will talk a little bit more about that in detail. But basically, this first part, it's all about prevention. The second one has to do with predictive biomarkers and early diagnostics. We also realized that by analyzing people's microbiome and the interaction between human genes and microbial genes, we were able to identify predictive biomarkers that could potentially be great to develop diagnostics at early stages. And I will talk a bit more about that as well. And then finally, we also started to realize that by analyzing people's unique biology at a molecular level, we could also be in a good position to mix not only biological data, but also with data science and the AI and machine learning platform that we have developed, with the objective to develop precision therapeutics. These are precision medicines that could potentially target specific biomarkers to make sure that we increase the efficacy of potential drugs to treat certain diseases. So this is a little bit, I just wanted to share at a high level what we call Biome's flywheel, and it's also consumer. We have a different approach to other health tech companies. Some companies, they focus on the consumer. Some health tech companies, they focus more on B2B or more of a biotech type of company. focused. And here we have like a flywheel that reinforces each step of the way to continue to strengthen our data platform. And it starts with a consumer. I will go a little bit more into detail, but so far, and this slide is not updated actually, but today we have over 300,000 customers that have tested to learn more about their microbiome and their gut health. And with that, we have been able to analyze over 340 trillion RNA-based pairs that have been analyzed. Once we collect those samples, it goes through our AI engine, basically, to analyze phenotypic data and also gene expression data. And with that, then we go into developing products, and I will get into what kind of products we're doing and we're developing. And then with that, then we deliver value back to the consumer, and then the consumer can continue to test and to monitor their progress over time. So that's the way that we are, helping people, to live healthier lives and to improve their health. This is just a little bit more about the platform that we are building. The first one has to do with data acquisition. As I mentioned before, direct to consumer molecular testing, focused on the microbiome and gene expression. I will get more into the details of how we are actually doing this. The second part is the data analytics part of it, which is our therapeutic platform. This is more technical, and I'll get more into the details as well. But we are using a technique called meta-transcriptomic sequencing, translational science, and also AI. And then based on that, then we start develop, some applications that I've already mentioned in the previous slide. Then, the other thing that it's interesting to see is how this process, works. So we have what we call the Biome core platform. So through sample collections, the mRNA analysis, and then the AI machine learning platform, all of that builds kind of the foundation to then develop, the diagnostics and the therapeutics. I'm going to get more into that in a bit. Let me just jump into the first part of what we're doing, which is what we call the Biome's Health Insights and Precision. And here, the objective is to empower customers with actionable insights in order to learn more about what's going on in their bodies. And with that, they can take action with food and with supplements to really prevent diseases or revert diseases as well. Let me just go to the next. This is at a high level how we are executing our consumer model. So Biome, this part of Biome, we are a direct-to-consumer model that starts with molecular testing. So the step one is that a customer or someone can go to biome.com. They can buy a test kit. It's an at-home test kit to collect samples. So you don't have to go to a lab. You don't have to go anywhere. You just have to buy the kit online. You get it at home, and at home you collect your samples. Today we are collecting samples. We're collecting stool samples. We're collecting blood samples, and we are in the process of launching saliva collection samples as well. So we are gathering lots of data from different sample types, and that's not easy to do, but we have been able to develop the technology that actually can keep those samples with the right quality, so that it goes to the next stage, to the next phase of our process. Once a customer collects the samples, then they send it back to our lab by post. And then the step two, it's our lab analyzes this sample using the mRNA sequencing technology that we have developed, that is called metatranscriptomics. And after it goes through the analysis, through the lab and through our AI platform and algorithm, then we deliver the results to the consumer via our app. And that's step three. So the customer receives results and recommendations via the app, and I will get into that in a minute. And then with that information, customers can take action. And then a customer, in step four, a customer can retest every 4 to 6 months, because as I mentioned at the beginning, everyone's microbiome is dynamic and changes over time. So it would be smart to retest at least every 4 to 6 months, so that anyone can adjust their strategies in terms of what are the things that someone needs to do in order to continue to improve their health. Eating the wrong foods, for your body can result in inflammation. And we often interpret signs of inflammations as symptoms. This is just a sample of the symptoms that our customers are saying that they come to us. People are saying that they are struggling with any of these type of symptoms. For example, some customers, they say that they have poor digestion and they have to deal with bloating. Some other customers say that they are dealing with, rashes and skin irritation. Some other customers say that they have feelings of anxiety, trouble sleeping, trouble losing weight. Some customers feel that they have low energy and brain fog, and so on. So this is not an exhaustive list, but this is just to give you an example of the type of symptoms that people generally live with, and that they are trying to do something at the root cause of many of the symptoms it's in the gut, and this is mainly driven when the microbiome is off. So the first step, as I mentioned before, it's what we say. We actually tell customers, don't guess, test. So what we mean by this is that we are using a technology to help people to take the guesswork out of your diet, your foods and your supplements, by really taking a first step by analyzing what's going on in your body today, right? So by collecting stool, blood, and saliva samples, we can truly go in depth into really understanding at a molecular level what is happening in someone's body today, because we measure gene expression. Then once, by the way, so this product that we launched a year ago, it's called the Health Intelligence Test. We started a few years ago with our first product that it's called GI, it's Gut Intelligence. But now the Health Intelligence Test, it covers more sample times, so more sample types. So it is a more comprehensive test, because we are able to analyze things. Once we do this test, we can help people understand and reveal what we call our MAC scores. And this is just a sample of those scores. Here, for example, you can see You can understand more about your biological age score. It assesses how you're aging internally versus chronologically. So, for example, someone can be, can be 50 years old, but cellular health can tell you that maybe your body is 42 years old. We also have an immune health score as well that assesses your body's, preparedness to fight off bacteria and viruses. We also analyze your cellular health that basically tells you about your function, including the antioxidant support, etc. Gut health analyzes your inflammation, your digestion, your food absorption, and your gut lining health as well. So anyway, long story short, I'm not going to give you all the details of what we measure. At a high level, these are the 6 macro scores that we help customers to decode. And you can read them here. You can see them here. Mitochondrial scores have to do with your energy production. And then underneath these 6 macro scores, we also provide 400 subscores and pathways that can give you a lot of detail and a lot of information about what's happening in your body today. And then we also tell you what you can do about it. The second step is what we call activate. So once we analyze your samples at a molecular level, then we provide 2 things. The first one is food recommendations, and the second one is precision supplements. I'm going to start with the first one, food recommendations. So we are providing customers with a list of food recommendations broken down in 3 categories. The first category is what we called your superfoods. So we can tell you exactly what are your superfoods and the foods that you should double down and eat more of, so that you can really take the nutrients that your body needs, and your body is really good at absorbing those kind of nutrients. The second one is what we call minimize foods, and these are the foods that you should minimize. And then finally, we also give you a list of the foods that you should avoid. Here on the screen, on the first graphic that you can see on the left, you can see, for example, a list of avoid foods. So, for example, in my case, when I tested, when I did the test for myself, for example, I used to eat a lot of bell peppers, for example, and cheese. And it was funny for me to learn that these kind of foods are on my avoid lists. And since I stopped eating these foods, I started feeling better, and I felt a better digestion overall. And so anyway, but that's just it was in my example. But the list of your superfoods, your minimized foods, and your avoid foods are going to be very different between person to person. So that's in terms of the food recommendations. Then we also realized that even if you eat your superfoods and you avoid your avoid foods, then there are additional nutrients that your body needs, because not every food contains everything that your body needs today based on how your microbiome is behaving. So that's why just over a year ago, we launched a new product called Precision Supplements. And these are a formula and a set of ingredients that we create a formula made to order. So we are mass customizing more than 150 ingredients, from vitamins, minerals, supplements, probiotics, prebiotics, the whole thing. And we are picking and choosing from the molecular analysis what are the ingredients and the nutrients that your body needs today in order to complement your food recommendations. So we are putting together in capsules and in sachets, and once a month we send a box to our customers with these personalized and precision supplements and probiotics every month. And every time a customer do a retest, then that formula will obviously update. We're going to be updating that formula all the time to make sure that a customer receives the nutrients in the precise dosages that they need today. Then, this is another way to say that, but it's basically said we are providing customers with what they need today based on their scores. Through the app, we are explaining why you need these minerals, these vitamins, these food extracts, these amino acids. The reason why they support one of these health scores, and then in the second graphic, you can see this is an example of someone who has gut microbiome health not optimally. It has a score of 27, and then below is how can someone improve that score by tapping into the power of precision nutrition and precision supplements. Then there is an explanation on how much you need in terms of the ingredients and the dosages that you might need, and then when you need it, and so on. And then finally, the final step, as I said, it's to optimize that. So once you start taking action, you can see your progress over time through the app. You can see how your scores improve over time as you implement the food recommendations and the precision supplements, and every time that you retest, you can see how your body has been improving overall and across each one of the scores. This is just to share a little bit about some of the customer success stories and what people have been saying. I'm not going to play this video here. There are lots of customer testimonials that you can find online. In social media and YouTube, there's lots of customer testimonials. This is just a quick sample. People have been telling us that they have seen improved results in these areas, mainly in digestion, in improving their digestion, sleep, weight, mood, energy, and so on. And actually, not long ago, we conducted a clinical study to try to learn a little bit more about how the Biome program and Biome's technology is helping people improve certain things with specific clinical outcomes. And here there is just a few examples. I can obviously share the study and the paper that has been written and published, but we have seen improvements in IBS. We have seen improvements in the severity of other diseases like depressive disorders. We have also seen reduction in type 2 diabetes by 30% and so on. So far so good. We are seeing that when customers use this technology, this molecular testing technology, they collect their results, then they follow the food recommendations, the sub recommendations, and then they retest. We have already quite a lot to suggest that the whole Biome program and technology is actually helping a lot of people to improve a lot of their symptoms or things that they might be personally trying to improve. And then finally, just I'm going to go into a lot of this is going to be another conversation. But also, we recently launched a division that it's called Biome Health Sciences. This is our more of the biotech side of what we're doing here at Biome. But basically, here Biome, it's aiming to identify risk factors, to try to identify diagnostics early on. We are also developing and identifying biomarkers, and we are also in the process of running a number of clinical trials to develop precision therapeutics as well. So Viome's technology platform, it's helping us to reimagine and basically we are coming up with a new approach to healthcare through technology, all the way from prevention to early diagnosis to precision medicine as well. And all it's based on how the host which is the human genes and the microbiome genes are interacting together, and how that is affecting chronic disorders. So these are some of the therapeutic areas that we are looking into, and we are making a lot of progress into many of these. We actually have signed agreements with companies like GlaxoSmithKline on a couple of clinical studies and research projects that we're doing. Recently, we got FDA approval for Diagnostic, which is called it's a cancer detection device to help diagnose oral and throat cancer in early stages with a high level of specificity. So that's great. I mean, that's something that we got a few months ago from the FDA. It's considered a breakthrough diagnostic device. So we are in the process of launching that into the market as well. I'm not going to go into this. This is way too technical for today, but this is just some of the things that we are doing for each of the therapeutic areas that we are trying to make progress in finding either diagnostics or therapeutics as well. So I guess I'm just gonna stop here, and maybe I can take some questions, or if any.